Hello everyone! This what we have here is Higurashi when they cry Kai instead of a Measkashi. Well, it says on the window, when I open it up, it says Higurashi when they cry Chapter 5. So this is Chapter 5, and we go around in the answer arc, so we got a nice little setup right here. So Omake, as you can see here, you can jump through chapters. I didn't read any tips, so let's go back. But yeah, shout out to Wilko for giving me the game. So I'm going to be enjoying a very, very different experience for the most part, because I do remember on a couple chapters ago, 1 or 2 chapters, you were playing as a different character, Shion, from what I remember. So let's give it a start. Nice little scary impact to it. So we call it Measkashi, Beloved Cutthroat. Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi when they cry Kai. We finally reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrator. And we got a little... Alright, let's start. Little laughing kids. Fucking hell. She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sands, so the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean, so the girl cried. How many years will pass before the girl wonders if she really dropped them? Frederica Bernard Castell. This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is entirely coincidental. Alright, so for the most part, let's do something with the settings while I'm at it. So right around here is good. Alright, let's continue reading. 7 keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key, one by one. One by one, okay. Sometimes when I listen through, the music doesn't even pick up as much, so right around here is good enough. One by one. On average, I reached the correct key within 3.5 attempts. Interesting. There we go. 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys, and I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only on the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness. My head ached from it. I put the key in and turned it. I just needed to repeat that small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn. Even a 3-year-old kid can do something this easy. So, am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Whatever. I don't care if I'm clumsy. I just need to try all these keys. Even in the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try. No way. Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than my worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. Did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely see a faint marking that says, this set is for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there were no other choice, it'll be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administration office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. I won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. I stood up quickly as if electrified. I was almost in a panic and so felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be here, and it's also dangerous if somebody comes into the administration office. I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible, to repress my fear. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? The next moment, I felt a faint vibration in the air. Somebody was walking somewhere in the hallway. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them, since the footsteps were very far away. But at the time, I couldn't think calmly. Ah, shit. Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down, calm down. I should be feeling excited instead. Calm down, calm down. I just need to do what I have to do. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Ah, shit. This key should be hard and cold, but it's pliable and hot. It feels like rubber. How could I stick this into the keyhole? Shit, shit, shit. It wasn't the key that was pliable. It's my fingers that were limp. Ah, shit, shit, shit. The key sprung out of my hand and fell to the floor. It shouldn't have made any sound because it was so pliable, but it made a tremendous metal noise as if somebody pushed over a cupboard. Clang. The sound almost stopped my heart. I felt dizzy for a while. I looked around afterwards to carefully see if I caused any disturbance to the surroundings. Calm down, calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Wait, I don't hear anything? What about the footsteps in the distance? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Ah, shit, what is that sound I'm hearing? Is it my sweat dripping on the floor? Shut up, shut up, shut up. How could I hear the sound of my sweat? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Calm the fuck down. I had to clarify. This isn't a prison or a detention center. It's a private school. Not a normal one, though. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. Being for girls only rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. I thought she was in... Shit. I thought Shion was in a mental hospital or some shit. Manufactures ladies. Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying how nice to see you instead of just hi is already insane. And calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. I hate the morning and evening prayers, to say nothing of the Sunday Mass. I don't want to memorize the Bible passages, and the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. If I stayed in this institution, that's what I call the place, for many years, I'd either go crazy or be brainwashed. Most of the girls choose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God which the Bible teaches. Because of that, I've been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later on? After examining my emotions, I realized that I had completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. So the private school, for I'm assuming, is a religious private school. In this institution, I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending became fun once I set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence that I started to behave religiously. I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight, because there were many daughters of important people living there. The guards walked their beats randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders ironically also worked to prevent escapees. But that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. No matter how hard they try to brainwash me, I'd never change. I'd been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible obstacles and trained myself. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes, even the long distance runs. I needed a perfect plan as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also, supported by those things, I needed determination. I made sure that I had all I needed and executed the plan. I decided to plant a seed in school before the appointed day. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into the details now, but that can turn into an enormous problem in the school. Ooh, what do we got here? Let's see. Male teachers was having a relationship with a student? Well, so I assume they were having sex in a broom closet or some shit. The school is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kinds of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. If the romance was a fact and was leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame. In fact, even that might not be enough. In the world of girls, rumors spread fast, especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of that kind of humor, and they warn the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means that I managed to make them furtively deal with something shady, without contacting families or the authorities. So if I disappeared in these circumstances, it'll look like I ran away with some teacher. All the male teachers would deny it, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. After all, there is a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all the other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. I tried hard to spread the rumor that I was involved in a forbidden romance as widely as possible. The sisters questioned me a few times, but since the romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. After 3 months, I was certain that I created a solid foundation. I swapped after-dinner duties with my classmates so that I could adjust my schedule on this day. I was even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect I ran away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to her sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour tops, but that's enough for me. I took a step off my regular route. That was the first step toward my great escape. I calmed down and thought, the key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I put the right one in, but the lock was just stiff, and I only thought I got the wrong one? I realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingerprints must be getting in the way too. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought of giving up, I felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. Ah, hooray for freedom! Nice. I slowly opened the door. I could hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now, but somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. I can still make excuses up to this point. It might look awkward, but I still can. But if I take a step outside now, there can be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have been escape attempts before. That's not really so strange. I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people before Belore who couldn't fit in this place. Belore, I thought it was the word before. So the school's well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while attempting to escape. I don't want to believe any of those stories, though. You see, all the school's horror stories involve students who attempted escapes. Whatever, bring it on. I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway. There'll always be only one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I psyched myself up and pushed the door open. A strong smell was hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? I never smelled this strong, grassy smell before. Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. The smell is something I smell every day. I just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Calm down, Shion. I can rely only on the map inside my head from this point onward. I'd researched the locations of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident that I'll be able to avoid all of them, but I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly after all. I have to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places, but there's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. I concentrated to keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move if I'm lucky. Damn, after all that effort, it just boils down to luck? This is a gamble after all. When I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test the determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape from the school, that meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. I'm going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes, Shion. I ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs, it was my own heartbeat. Crunch. Even my own footsteps were so loud they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overactive imagination tormented me with premonitions of unexpected run-ins with guards. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. But if I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running at a time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. But if the footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on even letting them hear those footsteps. I try to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. Oh, my throat. As possible, I didn't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried that my senses might not be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me, without me being aware of it. I didn't want to make any noise, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. To stop or to run, something within urged me to choose from either one. I can't choose to stop. I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I know that. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. I succeed in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and carefully tackled the final step. The beautiful looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapees. While I was worried that somebody might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It's even possible that this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. Doesn't mean anything now since I'm already climbing up. From the top, the fence seemed about 7 feet high. 7 feet high? Well, that's that's a lot to climb up for. I have to go down carefully just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. I got scared because the flight was longer than I expected. I didn't land beautifully. I fell onto my butt. But there was nobody around to laugh, and I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes until 8 p.m. It was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really made it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I worry too much, but I can't be too relaxed just yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous. Let's see, something language. I can't read that. Alright. While my throat is hurting at it, let's go check around. So it's at English still. Updated, original, confirmation boxes, show menu. I think we're good to go. Anyway, I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up, and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. Yeah, I was about to say that. I thought I'd experience a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. That sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of the school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'll be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So, my memories would be nothing but international cuisine. Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. So, the school's like a prison, but it has good food? Okay then. And so on. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in. Hey, it's the same dude I saw last time when I was looking at the game trailer for it. Nice to see you, Shion-san. The driver was a man of early old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned that I succeeded. He smiled. Ah, the air feels so fresh. I want to eat a burger for a start. I heard they serve excellent food in the school, but... I suppose you were served nothing but gruel, huh? No way, dumbass. I was just kidding. Step on the gas if you have time to laugh at me. As you wish. Kasai really did laugh out loud. Oh god. Let's see, you're right around here. Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. Why can't you just call it a prison? In an instant. It disappeared so quick that I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Haha, serves you right. It's like, serves you right, motherfucker. As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and few streetlights. It reminded me that this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe. Are you hungry? Would you like me to stop somewhere to eat? That's okay, I already ate. I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat much at dinner to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory. It's late, so you'll find only vending machines at the highway rest stops. Oh, I've heard there are hamburger and Oden vending machines nowadays. Huh? What the hell? Will that dispense a cup and ingredients like a coffee vending machine? That's gross. I don't think it's like that. It usually comes in a can. Sorry, I can't stand canned food. Still? I thought you might have grown out of it. I haven't because I can't. Shut up. Why are you laughing? Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative. I'm exhausted. I'm going to get some sleep. How do I recline this? Look for the lever on the lower left part of the seat. Can you find it? Oh, here it is. Here I go. Kasai laughed again. Did I do something funny? No, it's just that the way you talk sounded like Mion-san. Well, obviously. Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way. How's Sis? I believe she's fine. I only see her when I bring your father to the family councils. That's right, she doesn't live in our parents' home anymore. She's living with the hag in Hinamizawa now, isn't she? She moved into the main house around the same time you started going to that school. I responded with disinterest even though I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oreo, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. Oh wow, the old hag. Just like usual. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. But when we use the phrase the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing. Did she change? You mean Mion-san? Yeah. I think she has to have changed if she's living so closely with the hag. Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma. I haven't noticed any changes. She's still the Mion-san, you know. What about me? Did I change? No, not at all. Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. I glared at him, and then he bursts out laughing. You haven't changed at all. That's admirable, since you've been in such a strict school for so long. Damn it. Laugh as much as you want. I'm going to sleep. There's a blanket in the back. Please make use of it. Thanks. I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted and I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So, I had to declare it once again, if only to calm myself. I'm sleeping. I totally am. Alright, it's the third time you said that. Do I have to give you permission to sleep? You're talking too much. I can't go to sleep if you don't quiet down. I apologize, princess. Oh wow. I'll keep quiet now. This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okonomiya. Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the damn protest back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever find out what I did, I'd never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Hinamizawa would be off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. It was a war. It might also have been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the SWAT team with everybody. We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members even though they were strangers to me, and that memory warms my heart. Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everyone to carry a sacred palanquin through the village, or I don't even know the word palanquin. Whatever. Through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together, until we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. It didn't feel any different though than when I was called to this teacher's office for forgetting my homework. The other villagers were furious about the damn project, but for those of us who were kids at the time, it's a pretty fun memory. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only the power of the protest that ended the damn construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson in order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. Oh yeah. Because I remember in the previous chapter, the fourth one, they said something about the minister's grandson. He was found in the mountains of Higurashi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the damn construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Gah. The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. It must have run over a bump or something. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. Ah, I must be looking forward to going home. Shion-san, are you awake? What is it? Would you like me to take you to the house in Okonomiya? Where else would you be taking me? I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly. It was the family head who decided on your enrollment in St. Lucia, and you ran away from there. You do understand the situation you're in? The school the hag chose didn't fit me, that's all. Shion-san. I know. Shut up. As the head of the Sonozaki family, the hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. Shion was the name they gave me. My sister Mion has a character that means demon in her name. That was to signify that she's the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has a character that means temple in it. This means that I was destined to take the veil and be confined in the temple. Thinking of that reminds me how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family, because it meant the family had 2 hairs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins has to be strangled to death right after birth. Unbelievable, isn't it? Jesus. What that means is that I had to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop, or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me. We're twins. There are no apparent differences between us, but the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Meon, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we'd only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day they created an undeniable clear distinction between Meon and Shion. Meon went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag and to learn how to become the successor, and I was to be confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objections to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel that having to learn about and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Meon. So, I'm not going to be a threat to the family even if I'm back in Okonomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okonomiya, where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't remember it much, and I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Okonomiya. Let's see, I hated how the fucking, Ori... Why does Oreo treat her treat Shion like she's evil? The fuck? The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kinda like it there. If you go back to Okonomiya, somebody from the family will notice you, and then they'll report you to the main house. Are you worried that the hag will hear about me? That might be a problem. I hope you understand the situation. What, Kasai? Are you telling me to go back to that awful place? No, I'm not. What I'm trying to say is, you want to know whether I'm prepared or not. I just hope you understand what might happen. Well, I know what you mean. You'll be held responsible for helping me escape if things go bad, right? You should caress your pinky finger while you can, Kasai, before they take it away from you. You should look forward to being rolled up in a futon mat, and thrown into the Onikafuchi swamp in that case. Maybe they'll send you to the torture room in the garden. I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. I've never seen it though. You know, while I was on chapter 2, when I was reading through this, there is a torture room. Yeah, and I've seen where the shit happens. Sonozaki house, I never seen it though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there. It's just awful, really. I hope I don't end up as a victim of that place. Okay. Everything's going to be alright. You really reassemble your mother. And the way you take chances, I mean. That's normal. She's my mom. My dad and mom will be furious if they found out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza. He's in charge of the organization, which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here? He's an old friend of Dan. Wait, so is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad, who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now. I also heard he has tons of scars. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a battle, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka a drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in the love triangle. Though my dad took the lead in the end, Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. I can tell that from the way he acts. He's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and then. It kinda gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. So, when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Okonomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his picking finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up in a futon map and thrown into the swamp for real too. Okay, let's just somewhere around here is good. Might be rolled up in a futon map and thrown into the swamp for real too. Even so, there's only one more place for me to return. I'm going to Okonomiya and nowhere else. That's my hometown. This might be a kind of homesickness, but I don't care what it looks like. So, what are you going to do? The Sonozaki family is everywhere. Well, I'll lay low for now. If somebody sees me, I'll tell them I'm Mion. Then what? Then, after things calm down a little bit, I'll start talking to my closest relatives. I know they'll be on my side. I know some people will cover it for me when I had a fight with my dad once. I see. You're trying to create a fate accompli so that the Sonozaki main house will have to accept you later on. I hope that works. It will. There were many people who were oppressed to the idea of enrolling me in that school. That decision was obviously made because of the hag's hatred towards me. Don't you agree, Kasai? Well, yes. I thought that decision was excessive. She couldn't make the right decision because she was suffering from menopause. All the fuss surrounding the dam protest drove her nuts. Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking as I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway. Kasai spoke to me again. Shion-san, look. I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishibone City. My hometown is coming right up." Chapter 5 Meakashi. Oh shit. Look at that. Ooh. And we got Shion Sonozaki. Nice. So from what I remember so far right now, we made it past the prologue. We got Keiji Maibara, we got Mion, there's Rika, Reina, Satoko, we got the very main cast from the previous chapters. Satoshi. Oh boy, we're gonna meet him. There's Tomatake, Hyasuke, Airi, Chie, Oishi, Mio, Kasai, Akane. So I don't know, but yeah. Here we go with Higurashi when they cry Kai. Welcome to Hinamizawa, all the shit. Now, I'm liking the looks of it so far. What have we got here? So that loading screen is pretty much done. Let's see, received new tip. The notebook's beginning. Alright. Goodbye, sister. So, I'm gonna save here. Okay, let's look at the new tip before we end the video. We got that scary music instead of the peaceful one from the previous chapters. Great. The notebook's beginning. Every time I read for so long, my throat goes out. So, June 1982. Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Watanagashi festival. Why would they do that? There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hadn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun has been living in dire circumstances. His close friends actually heard him imply he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible, considering that aspect. But the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false. The last possibility is that he was involved in the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. So the question is, whose? The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the 3 families, or one of their many relatives. Wait, let me see. Let me go back a bit. So, Satoshi Hojo. Oh, well, it said culprit, not Satoshi. Members. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it, and how did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth, all are in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach anywhere. Everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints, so that the tips of my fingers can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of a Yoshiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl. Alright, so that's done. Alright, let's look at view all tips again. We got that. We got that done. We're good. It's playing that nice peaceful music. I'm loving it so far. So ever since every chapter the music it's very different. So now we got this peaceful piano music. But yeah, that was the first prologue part to it. So next part we're going to move on to, I'm assuming, second part, chapter 2, or whatever it is, so, of Measkashi. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.